Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Today just going to do a quick little video on how I rig up a drop shot for walleye fishing. I've been using it specifically on Lake of the Woods so far. Now there's just to get started real quick, hooks. Right now I'm using the VMC Spinshot with the 1/0. They also make number 1. They make a number 2. They make a couple other different hooks, but the 1/0 is really the one I like so far. There's a lot of different hooks you can use for drop shotting. There's a lot of specific knots that you can tie. I've just been using the Spinshot because it's super simple to tie, and at some point I'll be exploring some of those other ones. So when I do that, then I'll make some more videos. But okay, so weights. It depends on, I've not used the ball weights yet. I picked some up. I'm going to experiment with them, but what I've been using is just the finesse, the solid, like the pencil weight almost. I've been using a 3/8 ounce so far. I think I could downsize a little bit, and this is that weight. So this has a little point on the top. You just run your line through, and then you pull it up, and it cinches. So if your weight gets snagged up in the rocks or whatever, you just pull on it a little bit, and the line will break, and you'll just lose your weight, and you'll still retain your hook. Here's the 1/0 out of the package. Hopefully you can see that. Now the only thing, and you'll see this after I tie it, that VMC could maybe change a little bit. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a lot of play in your eyes here on either side of the hook. If they tighten that up a little bit, that might work pretty good. But the design behind this is so it spins, so you don't get line twist when you're drop shotting. So when you tie, if you just use this hook and you make the knot that for making a drop shot rig without these eyes, then you can get line twist. So that's why I started with this. All right, first thing you're gonna do, this is just what I do. I run braid line on all of my reels. I run a 10-pound main line. Then I switch, when I'm on Lake of the Woods, because I can get away with a little bit more because the water is stained, I use P-Line Tactical Fluorocarbon, a 12-pound leader. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to connect your main line to your leader line. Your main line or your braid is going to, if you're sitting down looking at it, your main line braid, in this case, is going to go to your left, and your leader line is going to go to your right. So the end of your main line should be at your left hand, the end of your leader line should be at your right. So you're going to want to take your lines together, make a loop. I like to hold it down and try to do this so you can see it the best you can. Take your main line and your leader line, run it through that loop. Pull your leader line all the way through. I've got a little bit longer of a leader than I like. You're going to go through your loop again. So your lines are going to be going away from you through the loops. You're going to go through, it's probably a little difficult to see, but you're going to go through 3 times. Run both of those lines through that loop 3 times. Then cinch it down. Now your leader line and your main line is connected. Now I take my tag end on my leader line, tag end on my main line. I just pull it to the right, and you're going to want to cut them off basically as close to that knot as you can get. Discard your tag ends that you cut off, and this is what you're going to come up with. Okay, you can see the transition there. Okay, so you have your leader tied. Now what I like to do from hook to main line is I like to do a Palomar knot. All right, so I will go through the eyelet, and then I will come back through the eyelet. So through one way and then reverse the other. And I'll take plenty of line and make a loop here, okay? And so there you go. You're through and back through. Now, like to make a overhand loop here, and you're going to come through the back side of that loop. Now with the loop that you went through with, you're going to bring your hook and go through that loop. And you'll end up with this. Cinch that tight. Now you have the Palomar. Now I'll definitely normally have more of a leader line than this. Normally I would go with, cut that tag. I like to go with about a 6 to 8 foot leader, sometimes a little bit longer, clearer water, maybe a little bit longer. Lake of the Woods, which I normally fish, is pretty dirty, so 6 to 8 is pretty good. Now I like to run a 12-pound fluoro leader. I've already said that, but just for the fact of toothy northern and stuff like that, I'm not as apt to get bit off. So that's why I use just a little bit heavier fluoro. All right, so you're attached. Your Spinshot hook is attached to your main line now. Now you want to put your drop line on. Now depending on what type of bottom you're fishing, if you're fishing boulders, rocks, if you've got rocks that are coming off the bottom 6, 8, 10, 12 inches or something, I like to tie a little bit longer drop line on. So walleyes are super aggressive. Sometimes I'll even go 24 inches, and I'm probably losing 6 to the bottom, so I'm still up 18 inches when they're really aggressive. If they're a little more finicky and seem to be relating to the bottom, then obviously you're going to tie your drop line a little bit shorter. But just for the information on how to tie it, I just use a clinch knot on the bottom line, drop line, go through. So now you're just through your bottom eyelet here. Bring it back over and go away from you. So you have your line here, your tag end goes, you have your main line here, your tag line goes over and away. And I bring it around 6 times. All right, 6. So you're still pointing away from you. Come back through your loop that goes around your eyelet. And you can grab a hold of it and then slowly cinch it. All right, now you're going to have just a little bit of a tag there. And you want to trim that tag off. Maybe a little bit shorter. I like to go almost as short as I can. All right, now you are connected. Braid main to fluoro leader to Dropshot Spinshot hook to Dropshot Weight line to the bottom. So here's your Dropshot Weight. You take your line from your hook down, a little eye right there, just go through it probably maybe an inch. Grab both sides, I guess I got a little bit longer there, and just pull. Now that weight is connected. And if you want to, you can cut that tag off. I don't cut it super short, I leave a little bit in there. But as you can see now, that's not going to go anywhere. If that gets hung up in the rocks or something, and you just, give it a little bit of a straight pull or a yank, this will actually cut the line, lose your weight, and you'll get your hook back. Okay, now that that's all done, you've got everything tied up, you're ready to fish, I'm going to show you just kind of what it looks like. All right, so as you can see this, here's your hook and line set up. Now this is a little bit shorter than I would normally tie it, but I got to have it so I can get it in the camera view here. Hopefully you can see that. So when you're actively drop shotting, weight goes to the bottom. On some bottoms you can lay it down like that and just twitch that line. Rocky bottoms, what I'll do is once I feel the bottom, I'll just hold it so it'll actually sit like this. So here's where I think VMC could tighten this up a little bit. You see that kind of lays down with a leech. Now when your bait gets in the water, plastics are a little buoyant, so it will float up a little bit. If you have a leech on there, that leech is probably swimming, so that it has a lot of freedom to be moving around. That bait really dances on a drop shot rig, and that's one of the reasons why it's so effective. So if you were to put a plastic on here, here's what it looks like. Now just for illustration purposes, Just gonna put a plastic grub on here. You would nose hook it. And that bait is just gonna sit like that. Now here's where you have a little bit of an issue with the Spinshot hooks and just the air that points straight down. Now with water, you know, this plastic's gonna be a little buoyant, so it's gonna float up just a little bit, like I said, but it doesn't look very appealing when it's sitting like that. So when your bait's laying on the bottom and you're just jiggling that main line, you're in the water, your bait's gonna sit up a little bit and it's just gonna dance if you're using the right plastic. There's all kinds of plastics that you can use. I don't have any real close to me, so I just tied on a grub so you can just see, just for illustration purposes. So there you have it. This is the Dropshot rig using the VMC Spinshot and the Dropshot Weight, the finesse weight. Get out there and try it. It is a very deadly tactic for walleyes. Hope this video helped you out. It kind of explained, hopefully, how to tie that up. Hope you can get out and enjoy God's great outdoors. We'll see you on the next one.